Hi friend, if you are new here, my name is Ivars Meyers, I am self-taught iOS developer, and if you are interested how I become self-taught developer, you are on the right video. But let me add some background to set the stage a bit. I'm not one of those smart kids who are programming from 10 years old. Even I had my hands on computers quite early. I was mostly interested in gaming, not so much in programming, and most of my 20s I spent in army in police, and I got into the IT career in my 30s only. I have a computer science degree, I have a bachelor in computer science, but I didn't learn anything that is usable right now for my work. My studies was very academic, most of classes was math, and even programming was mixed with C programming language and mathematic formals. It wasn't interesting or funny at all. And after graduating I got a job in IT, but I was working as a technical engineer in the payment related company, let's say so. I had plans to move in programming, but I didn't feel that I'm ready to apply to programming jobs. Later on the road in my career I started to attend in programmers hiring process, and I saw that a lot of newcomers who was coming from the high schools, from universities, was on about the same level as I was back then. So basically I was ready to apply for junior position, but I just stopped myself by thinking that I am not ready. My advice here, if you didn't try to apply, just go to apply for job and see what you don't know and learn then that. So that is the way to apply for the jobs, not sitting in the corner and learning until you are ready. You will never be ready. Even right now I very often apply for the jobs where I am missing some part of requirements, or I didn't work with some specific technology. You are learning by doing, and you are learning in process, and it is absolutely fine if you don't know something when you apply for the jobs. So, but I'm going to shoot right now time-lapse for sunset over the Baltic Sea, and after that we'll continue. So, fast forward for a few years, 2012, I already have iPhone and I got interested in iOS development, and I wanted to build applications for iOS. I got my hands on iOS development Big Nerd Ranch book, and I started to learn iOS development, Objective-C and all that stuff. But frankly, even with C and C++ background, Objective-C didn't click very well for me, but I managed to build few applications. One application was for my company, what I was working for at that time. That was just for me, myself and other technical engineers to make our work a little bit easier. Very basic application, and I released one application in the App Store in 2012. That application was named, in Latvian, but basically the name was I'm Here, and everything what that application did was GPS coordinate sending by SMS or email. I built this application because we discussed it with friends online that our health and security service could have such kind of functionality in their own application, and that was not presented. So that was just basic idea what I realized, and yeah, it was nice to have application in the App Store. For those who do not remember, 2012 was pixel perfect skeuomorphic design time, and I didn't see how I can move from my ugly and horrible interfaces to something nice and beautiful like other companies build. For example, Apple podcast player application was designed and developed as audio tape player, so looks a little bit weird, but that's how mobile applications was looking back then. So I didn't really see how I can move from basic stuff what I learned in this Big Nerd Ranch Objective-C programming book to the nice designs what I saw around the App Store. But about that time I was interested in product management as well, and I applied to one job as product manager and I got that job, and I got into the product management, and I basically put on hold all that iOS development for about few years until Swift was released in 2014. Yeah. Okay, but we are already almost back in my cabin in the woods, back to the seaside. So having option to work from the cabin in the woods or lonely island somewhere in the tropical sea is one of the reasons why I dropped this product management job and started develop iOS applications, but we will get to that in a few moments. In 2014, when Swift was announced, I decided that I would like to give a second try to this iOS development. I was already just a little bit bored from my product management work in corporate environment. I got Swift programming language book by Apple and started to rebuild my own application, my location application, and I submitted this application to the App Store, and app was rejected because review team didn't saw a lot of value to the users from this application, and I can't disagree with that. Application was very basic. Basically that was the same application, just rebuilt in Swift, and yeah, I will remove this application from the App Store as well, so not a lot of functionality in this application. But after that I started to work on two more applications. I got one from those Udemy courses, that was from DevSlope at that time. I do not remember which iOS version it was, doesn't matter, and I don't know how good DevSlope's courses are right now. Just saying, I used DevSlope's course and I started to relearn iOS development from that course, and immediately I started to work on my own application. And as soon as I saw that my application and that course are going to the different ways, so I dropped that DevSlope's course and started to work on my application only. So I finished maybe in the best case 50% of that course, and that's it. Basically that is how I like to learn. I have some tutorial and I'm looking how to apply the tutorial on my own project, and as soon as I see that tutorial do not cover my needs, I am learning from Stack Overflow, for example, documentation, other online tutorials and so on. I feel that this is the best way for me for learning, by solving real life my own problems, and that is what I suggest to everyone, to work on some kind of real life problem, work on your own application, and that is the way how to learn fast. Because if you are just following tutorial, usually you don't learn so much, you just repeat what is right in tutorial, and that is falling in naming tutorial trap. So you just keep going through tutorials and do not learn anything. So early 2015 I released Kettlebell application. It was just let's say full body exercise application with kettlebell, so self-explaining name, yeah. And later in 2015 I released planking application. I was learned a lot building those applications. Of course, UI kit, basic user interface development. Also I was implemented advertisements, so learned that, in-app purchases, core data for historical record savings, and so on. So I learned a lot building those applications. This kettlebell application is just removed. I removed it last year from the App Store, and planking app is still here. Basically 2015 I spent for learning and 2 app development. 2 apps in the year probably seems like slow speed work, but I was learning by doing, so it takes a lot of time. Even applications was simple, all of the technologies was quite new for me. And I still had full-time job at that time, and of course I had family and 2 kids to raise, so it was that iOS development was just few hours here and here on late nights and or some weekends and so on. So those first applications wasn't successful at all from financial perspective, and frankly I also didn't expect that they will, because those was just learning projects, quite simple applications with not so much added value for the users. Most part of 2016 I spent again playing around with this iOS development. I built one more application. It was CrossFit training application, and this application is still in the App Store. I'm not happy anymore how it looks or how it works. I should update this application or remove from the App Store. I'm thinking about update, but it is quite low in my priority list, so maybe someday. At the end of 2016 I decided that basically that is time to decide what I would like to do that with this iOS development, because I already was on some beginner level. I was able to build my own applications, but nothing serious. And so I decided that I should do something, drop this at all, and concentrate my attention on my product management work and career, or go all in that iOS development. So I decided to learn and do this iOS development more seriously and work on some kind of strict schedule. I replanned my day-to-day life, and I started to work on iOS development every day on the mornings and also on weekends when it was possible. So my advice here is, if you are trying to learn development, make a plan for that, and plan, if it is possible, plan some time to learn this iOS development every single day, as much as possible. Okay, if you have to drop some weekends, drop those weekends, but on work days try to fit 2-3, how much you can, hours for iOS development. Because at least for myself, I find that 2-3 hours every day works way better for me than, I don't know, 60 hours in the weekend. Because if you are working regularly, but by small chunks, but regularly, it sticks better, you understand better, you are not overload yourself with big amounts of information, and you have time to reprocess that. So that was working for me very well. I started to work every day, and mornings I started with 1 hour at the morning, then increased this time to 2-3 hours every day. Before a day job I started to learn development and work on my applications. And mornings, for me, mornings works better, just because at the evening usually you are already tired from day job. In my case, family, again, they are asking for attention, and it takes time, and after that you are out of energy or out of time for development. So I decided that I am going to learn more strictly and work more strictly, and I decided that I am not planning anymore to go to the App Store with my own applications, because it will take a lot of time to get the same revenue what I have from my product management job, and basically it will take forever to drop this product management job. I decided that I will go to freelancing to get income from freelancing, and in parallel I will work on my own application. So I decided to start freelancing on parallel with day job, and to do that I decided that I need at least one or even few more applications in the App Store, because those first applications wasn't so great to show as portfolio items. I decided that I will build one more application. So in a little bit more than 1 month I built one more application and submitted that to the App Store as well. It is still in the App Store, and side note, that application is most successful from all of my applications, and basically I just recently released a video about revenue from this application. If you are interested, you can take a look later. And yes, but anyway, even that application is quite successful comparing with other apps. I'm losing money every time I'm spending time on this application development, because freelancing is way more better from revenue perspective, and that is so usually for everyone. Yeah, but there are different benefits for own applications, but we are not covering this topic right now. At the beginning of 2017 I registered on freelancer.com as iOS developer and started to apply to the jobs. My very first project there was very simple, 3-screen iOS application, not even development but design. I made this design for that customer, and after that this project transferred to the application development. And that was quite good experience for me with that first project. I got around $1,000 from that project in total. Money actually didn't matter then, because it was good to have money, of course. It was very nice to get that side income, but money wasn't really actual on very first projects, and that's what I suggesting for all of the freelancers. Do not concentrate on money on first projects, concentrate on just to get those projects and build your portfolio. So I got this project, I finished successfully this project, and I added to my portfolio this project as well, and I opened a profile on Upwork. First projects on Upwork was very hard to get. If I remember correctly, first 3 was very challenging. I wrote a lot of proposals, sent a lot of proposals, applied to almost every job that I thought that I will fit. I will put links to my profiles in Freelancer and Upwork into the description of the video. If you are interested, you can take a look on those. But yes, I'm not very active anymore there, and Upwork periodically, time to time, close my account because of inactivity. So, but I started to work with direct customers as well. How I got to the direct customers, basically one of the customers was just forwarded to me by guy that I met in a local Swift developers meeting group. So that is my suggestion: go to the meeting groups, talk with the people, talking about that you are looking for the projects and so on, if you are looking for freelance projects. Again, I have a video about freelancing as well, so check that out. So, but in my story, I'm still in the state when I have a day job in this product management, and I am freelancing on the side. So income from the projects is nice, but it is not enough to cover my expenses. So I was looking around for different opportunities, and I found that online hackathon is going to start in the middle of the summer 2017. And end goal of the hackathon was to build a chat application by using some specific APIs and tools, and company who organized this hackathon, basically this company was looking for iOS developer, and that was kind of opportunity to, if you are good in this hackathon, you can pretend to take this iOS developer's job, and that was company that was working remotely. So that was sounding very good for me. I decided, why not, I am going to try. And I started to build this hackathon application. I built this app, and I submitted my work for review, and I was very surprised, but my project was the best from all of the submitted, and yeah, this company offered to start some kind of trial work with me, and this company hired me to implement some features that was planned to implement in this company main application, but implement in that test project that I built. So I started to work on that project, and it sorts out very well. I implemented those features that company wanted to see, and I was invited to on-site interview with company, and we agreed that I will work for this company as part-time developer. So I am still freelancer, consultant. I am just working with ongoing contract with this company. So at that time, it was autumn of 2017. I already had my own freelance projects. This one new maintenance project and development project for chat application, and my full-time day job. So it was kind of oblivious that I had to drop something. It was already too many things to keep in hands. Income from iOS development per hour was about the same what I got from this product management job, so it was a kind of oblivious decision to drop this product management job and go all into the iOS freelance development, and so I did that. Battery just died at the end of the video, so we are close to end. From 2017 December I'm working as full-time iOS developer, freelancer, consultant, name it as you want. Basically I'm working with different companies on different contracts, but I usually looking for long-term contracts to do not jump between contracts too often and do not have those interviews with customers and requirement clarifications. Working on different projects is very interesting because you have chance to work with different customers and different teams. Smallest team what I was working with, of course, that's me when I doing user interface designs, a little bit server side, iOS development and so on, basically everything. Biggest team what I have experienced to work so far is 20 people in IT staff, that is iOS development team, server side team and so on. As I said on very beginning, I have this computer science degree, but basically I learned everything on my own. And no one ever asked, do I have this CS computer science degree? So basically customers do not care about that. That is kind of answer, do you need computer science degree to work as programmer? No, I believe that it is not needed today anymore. Eventually I am planning to build more my own applications, just to divorce those income, revenue streams. Freelancing currently is the biggest one, own applications is quite small one. Again, if you are interested on income on my own applications, there is video about that. And yes, my channel usually is about own application building, freelancing, consulting, remote work. So if you are interested in those topics, consider to hit that subscribe button, and yeah, likes are really appreciated as well. So thank you for watching and see you on the next one.